Don't open San Francisco with the Golden Gate Bridge. Make the bridge wait in the fog. Open with a harbor. A very good harbor attached to a very dramatic piece of land. San Francisco is basically a funnel. The bay pulls people in. The hills make everyone stack the city sideways. And every so often, the ground says no thank you. The city says, fine. We will rebuild emotionally and also with questionable speed. Before Spain, before gold, before cable cars, this was Yelamu land. The Yelamu were a Ramaytush Ohlone people. They knew the dunes, creeks, wetlands, shorelines, and seasons. So the story does not begin with an empty map. Then 1776 arrived with a mission and a military post. Mission Dolores and the Presidio put Spanish power on the edge of the bay. To Spain, the bay was not just pretty water. It was a door, a fort, and a paperwork problem with a view. The little settlement near Yerba Buena Cove was tiny. Tiny in the way a popcorn kernel is tiny before it attacks the pot. In 1847, Yerba Buena became San Francisco. That sounds like a city changing its name tag before the party starts. Then in 1848, gold was found in the Sierra Nevada foothills. Not in San Francisco, which is rude because San Francisco immediately did most of the screaming. The gold was inland, but the people, ships, tools, food, rumors, boots, and bad ideas came through the bay. By 1849, the population exploded to about 25,000. A city appeared like somebody spilled humans on a shoreline. There were tents, hotels, stores, saloons, gambling halls, and shanties. Urban planning was basically, put it there, we will apologize later. Then the ships started doing something very San Francisco. They arrived and refused to leave. By 1851, more than 800 ships filled Yerba Buena Cove. Crews ran off to the gold fields. The shoreline became a forest of masts. Parking lot, but nautical and deeply inconvenient. Some ships became stores. Some became landfill. Some became the weird bones under the financial district. The funnel pulled in people from everywhere. Latin America, Europe, China, the eastern United States, the Pacific world. Everyone arrived with a plan. The city immediately asked if the plan could pay rent. The boom was not fair. Gold Rush California brought opportunity, violence, racism, and exclusion in the same suitcase. Now add the hills. Because San Francisco looked at a normal street grid and said, what if stairs were implied? Wet cobblestones, steep streets, loaded horse cars. This was not transportation. This was a group project with gravity. In 1873, Andrew Halliday's cable car system appeared. San Francisco invented a machine for arguing with hills. The idea borrowed from mining conveyance systems, which is perfect. The city had already been mined by real estate agents. A cable car is not just transit. It is a tiny red elevator that refuses to admit it is an elevator. So San Francisco learned to squeeze. Houses on slopes, tracks on hills, people packed between water and gravity. Then April 18, 1906 arrived. At 5:12 in the morning, the ground picked up the city and shook the confidence out of it. The earthquake was terrible. Then the fires made it worse. They burned for 3 days and destroyed nearly 500 city blocks. A city on a bay discovered a cruel detail. Having water nearby is not the same as having working water pipes. Then San Francisco rebuilt. Fast. Suspiciously fast. Like a person cleaning the house because guests are already on the porch. That is one of San Francisco's stranger habits. Turns disaster into a building meeting. Then turns the building meeting into mythology. In 1936, the Bay Bridge opened. The funnel got a giant zipper to the East Bay. In 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge opened. The bridge finally got to enter the episode. It had been waiting very dramatically. Before the bridges, water was a pause. After the bridges, water became a commute. So yes, the Golden Gate Bridge matters. It is gorgeous. It is famous. It photographs better than most humans. But it is not the engine. By the 1970s, the old funnel had a regional movement problem. BART opened in San Francisco in 1973. The city put part of the argument underground. Market Street became layers of movement. Trains below, streetcars above. People everywhere pretending this is normal. The land area is only about 47 square miles. That is not a lot of room for this much ambition. So neighborhoods become tiny worlds. Chinatown, the Mission, North Beach, the Richmond, the Castro, Soma. Not just places on a map. Different ways of surviving the same funnel. The city kept attracting new kinds of rushes. Gold rush, port rush, beat poetry rush, counterculture rush, tech rush. San Francisco is very good at turning weirdness into a business model, then acting shocked when the business model needs office space. And under all of it, the ground is still there, quietly holding a clipboard, taking notes. So the real engine is not one landmark. It is harbor, hills, sudden money, shaky ground, stubborn rebuilding, and arrivals from everywhere. The bay pulled people in. The hills squeezed them up. Gold made the port explode. Ships became streets. Cable cars fought gravity. Fire forced rebuilding. Bridges and trains stitched the region together. That is San Francisco's trick. It takes pressure and turns it into mythology. Finally, the fog clears. The bridge walks back in. And the city says, fine, you can be the postcard. But the harbor gets producer credit.